I'm profoundly grateful for this opportunity to speak about a very special soul. As I searched my heart for what to share with you and my mind for how best to share it, it came to me that all of us who are here tonight are joined by a very special bond. In addition to all the links that connect us as seekers of truth, we're here tonight because we have been blessed to know and to love Sangeet Kaur Khalsa. And so in acknowledging Sangeet, I want to acknowledge each and every one of you, her students and friends. Sangeet is a hidden gem of Sikh Dharma. I share what I have shared because I want you to know and to spread the word about the powerful and practical impact she can have on the professional and personal lives of others. She is a light who brightens the lives of many, a torch who lights the way for others along the path to their own inner light. In the rich gold mine of Dharmic teachers, Sangeet is the motherlode.
1996 was my first Womanheart, and I will never forget it. It was the most powerful thing that I had ever experienced. It was life-transforming, and I have been very blessed to be part of Womanheart ever since.
As I've been exposed to Sangeet in various ways, Womanheart and Reiki and Gong meditation and full moon meditations and all the other things, I began to realize what an incredible opportunity there was waiting for me with Sangeet. So I decided to take as much advantage of her counseling skills as I could. And I don't know if you realize that the spectrum of her capabilities, how wide that spectrum is.
How do I describe my feeling, my experience when I'm with Sangeet while she teaches? Because it's such a unique experience when she's there and she's holding the space for all the students, and they're all going through their own levels of time and space experiences, right? And she's able to relate to each one at their level. I mean, talk about a concept of the forklift, and that concept with Yogi Bhajan's teachings is very powerful. She gets right there with you and just takes you up. You don't even know it sometimes, through her words, through her look. It's quite amazing. I'm very, very touched by it.
In that first meeting with Sangeet, I felt that she spoke to my soul. As some have already commented upon, and I think it bears repeating, it's very apparent her brilliant mind as well as a loving heart. What really most drew me to her, however, was her incredible personal strength. It is a presence that I felt I could trust.
My most precious and wonderful Sangeet, my most beloved patient, my dearest friend, the heart of my heart and soul of my soul. And her being in my life is really one of the important aspects of my being here for about 30 years. This is my fourth country. And if the world was filled with people like Sangeet, then we would have another world. And so all of us aspire, and all the students who have been with her aspire to be those of a higher consciousness. And we hope that this small group here, with Sangeet here as being inspiring all of us, so all of us hope, we have sincerely to hope that somehow we're making a difference in this world, even though it doesn't appear to make a difference. But nevertheless, we have to believe that what we're doing here is eventually going to translate into some meaningful divine intervention, because that's what we need.
About 10 years ago, I was having a huge issue with my health, and I prayed for a healer to come to my life. And Sangeet's face popped up in a way that I had never had in a meditation. And my thought was, ooh, who is she? Where is she? And what the heck is all that white about? Because I had never consciously seen a Sikh before. And then I spent an enormous amount of time thinking that I would walk in with my problem and my job was simply to resist anything she told me to do. So I would announce my problem and she would say, well, you probably want to change your diet. And I'd quickly say, no, that's how I'm dealing with the stress. And she'd say, well, you probably want to move. Absolutely not. I am in too much pain. And then she said, well, you do breathe, don't you? Only as much as I have to. And so that neutral mind, including the several times I slammed the door, and then where do you go after that? And she said, if the swamp is open, grab the alligator and pull it out. So I learned a lot about this amazing journey of growth that we are all on.
What a thread. It's the thread that runs through all of these stories that we've heard. And we come to realize that this is no ordinary woman. This woman is a teacher, and she's a leader, and she's a healer, and she's a friend, and she's a wife, and she does them all. And she's shown us a way that we can follow to follow that path for ourselves. Sangeet has used her head and her heart and her hands to live a life of service. And it's an example for all of us. She's shown us her face of grace, and we've all seen it, and we've all experienced it. Sangeet gives us tools and techniques. Not only do you feel better after you talk with her and after you work with her, but you walk away with techniques that you can use for yourself. And she encourages you to take the next step, which is to go and learn and become a teacher so that you too can pass this along. One of my stories that comes from this wise woman, and I'm sure many of you have had this experience. We all have difficult people in our lives, whether they're in our families or whether they're in our workplaces. And at one point, the word was said, oh my God, what am I going to do about that? And you know what her answer was? Her answer was, you're going to love the goodness in her. Wow. I'm like, I didn't have to add and subtract all those numbers and figure out what they meant. I didn't have to do any meditations. All I had to do was love the goodness in another person. How simple and how profound.
I have never been blessed with better family. In all of you, and standing here on the stage, people who live a life that make a difference. I do not live in hope or faith. I live in trust in God because I look at all the energy in this room. When I bowed my head this Tuesday on the actual day of the birth, I prayed for one thing: to keep me strong and serviceful as long as I am useful. As long as my mind and my heart are strong, to be there for all of you. And it is the time now that each of us goes out and passes that on. I'm amazed. I have a very simple job. I just turn on lights. Your job is you got to keep them on. And if you keep them on, I promise, I will keep mine burning strong.